Hi, I'm Rob Cosman. Welcome to my shop, episode 28 of our drawer making series. First thing I'm going to do is take you through and show you a cabinet that we built in our online workshop. I'm going to go through and I'm going to cover 4 different styles of cabinet doors. One's complicated. Then when we get to work on the drawers, we're actually going to get the final fit to where I get that thing to fit in there just perfect. Plus make a little handle. Someone on the chat line, not on chat line, but on the comment section gave me a great idea using double-sided tape. So stay tuned, we're going to get this drawer to fit. So this was one of the projects we did in the online workshop, and this was just the idea was to show you how to build upper cabinets. And also 1, 2, 3, 4 different door styles. So nothing, well actually it is, this is Dale Nish's style of building cabinets where the bottom shelf, mind the dust, the bottom shelf was always held up 1/4 of an inch. That way there's no way you're ever going to get this perfectly flush all along there and all along there. So it's better to be off a little bit over 1/4 of an inch than it is to try to get it flush and not be flush. If this is sitting down below the face frame, then it's very difficult to clean out because you've got material coming up against the inside of the frame. So that was raised up. Plywood on the sides, solid wood drawer fronts, drawer face frame, sorry. And I think I am positive I doweled all of these joints, which is standard for kitchen cabinets. Yeah, nothing else in there to talk about. So I'll show you the doors. Start over here at this one. Went simple. So this is just you might call it an open mortise and tenon or a lap joint. So this piece, a saddle joint may be a better way of describing it. You can see based on what you're looking at right there, which is an easy joint to do. You want to keep nice and tight up in here, so you want to make sure that is squared off. So you've got a frame with a groove in it, and then we just use a 1/4 inch panel, piece of plywood on the inside. So this was the simple one. Then this one, same idea, except in this one we used a miter. And then we used 2 splines, then close that spline nice and tight. 2 splines, which is so much better than one. It changes the leverage to make it a really strong joint. So you shoot a nice miter on your shooting board, your miter shooting board, and then you go in there and you cut the 2 splines. The plywood spline is running this way, just makes for a really strong joint. I'll go to this one, then I'll come back to this one. Now this one was a solid frame and panel. So the reason you use the frame is it's very stable in its length and its width, because most of this dimension is long grain. You know, the only thing that's going to expand is this little bit and this little bit. And then in its length it's stable because wood's not going to move in its length. So you get a pair of matched router bits or shaper cutters. I thought I had a pair right here to show you, but I don't. But anyway, yeah I do. No I don't. So yeah, you can't, if you looked up underneath here you could see. Can you get up underneath there? Way down. Mm-hmm. And that gives you a little bit of detail in here. It's really just a pain to try to finish it. And then the panel sits in here and is allowed to float. And as it expands and contracts, it stays within the groove and no problem. If you want to make it right, you get it so that it's perfectly centered, and then you pin it right in the middle, top and bottom, and that'll just keep all the expansion equal from center. So you never have it pulling all the way over. And here's an example. I didn't do that, or haven't done it yet, because I can tell I haven't got these finished. And you can see how, as it has shrunk, it's all pulled to one way, which it may have been just a little bit tighter over here. That's why you have that little blonde strip right up there where hasn't oxidized. Okay, now this one was the most time consuming. This was a furniture grade door. So again, frame and panel, solid panel. This one, the joint is a through wedge tenon, just like we're doing on the standing desk, only this one's a little more complicated. It's 1/4 inch, used a walnut wedge, so that comes all the way through, very strong, top and bottom. And then what I did in here is I cut a bevel all the way around the frame, and then the tongue is allowed to fit in there. Same idea, shrink, expand, and contract. And then here, just to dress it up a little bit, I went in and I put a chamfer along here, and then I stopped it and I went in just to dress that with a chisel. So it just kind of, if you kind of focus right there, you can just see a little bit of detail or actually it looks better. It's easier looking up there because you can see the shadow. Just dresses it up. And we put a little piece of trim on the bottom just to dress it up, and we put a little bit of crown molding. And we played around with that quite a bit to try to get the angle that looked just right. I don't like 45 degrees, it hangs out too much. I can't remember what that one is, but it wasn't 45. All right. Someone gave me a great idea, and I apologize for forgetting who it was, but I'll try to remember and acknowledge him next time we film. I'm just going to get a block of wood with a piece of double-sided tape and put it on there, and then I don't have to drill a hole. Although I shouldn't be worrying about drilling a hole because, as I said, it's all going to be covered. So I'll take a piece of pine, and I want that to, I really want that to stick. So out comes the shooting board. What would an episode be without a shooting board? And just get a nice flat face on there. And we'll make it a little easier to grab. Some double-sided tape. Thank you. Peel that backing off. That right in the middle. Now, squeeze it good and tight so that it'll stick. Try that. So this is the tricky part. By the way, I haven't done that one yet either. That still has to be that last little bit. Somebody else had asked me, well, how did you do that one? Well, like I said, I haven't. It's only gone into about there. Now, I can get a hold of this. First thing I want to do is get that outside so it'll go in. That's really tight. But I got a gap over here. Pencil, Jake?
In the drawer, or the thing.
Okay. So it gets tight here. Just in the middle. Remember which way we planed that? trying to clean up a little bit. Very little.
That's taking way too much.
And I pulled it in quite a bit. Sometimes it pays to rest it over here, and that'll square this up. I was planing like this, and I could have tilted that way, but when you set it like that, that'll bring it back around, and that's why I'm just taking material off the inside. Try this again. Okay, that's snug too. We're not protruding at the bottom, meaning the drawer front's not sitting lower than the drawer side. Now I touched the side going across, so I'm gonna, nice thing about this, I can look right down the throat. I can see where the holly starts, and that's where I'll set the blade, so I can get a nice clean shot at just planing the holly drawer side, which seems to be at a square. And that may have been from all those passes I took with the block plane. No, not bad. Still tight there. Actually, I'm going to put this right up on top, see if it's... So it's just in between the lines. I'm curious. It's actually already hollowed out. Make sure there's no start-stop mark. There is one right there, so. Now, I'm going to come back to this. I want to make sure that I'm not being held up somewhere else. That gets tight right there. Okay, so there's a section right in here. Pull that blade back in a little bit. Now, if I turn my plane like that, I can work an area that I wouldn't normally, because you've got the long sole is going to prevent you from digging into an area or hollowing it out. But turn your plane on an angle, and then the effective length of your plane gets reduced by whatever little bit is touching. Shut that off. I am so tempted to take a shot at that. Close your eyes, don't watch me do this. That's still tight there. So it's a fairly short area that it's okay. I got a good one. I get that with a block plane. See what I'm doing for depth. Way too much. Better. It feels a little butchered. That's too heavy. Okay, try this again along the top. Okay, that goes side to side, no problem. I don't want to take any more off of that. Let's just run this. That's going to be all right because I can see it, that's clear. Now, check the bottom. Shoot, I can't get it. There it is. Bit of a gap. Okay, it gets tight there. Can't get that in there at all. So from there over. Don't like hitting that, but I'm not going to do anything about it just yet. Okay, now I'm going to leave that alone for a bit. I'm going to go back to seeing what's going on the sides. The reason is, if I had just stayed and worked at one spot, may have been just a little area over here that was causing it to be tight up there. So do a little here, a little there, and maybe my resistance is not the drawer front, maybe it's actually the back of the sides or up front on the sides. Okay, so I've got some up and down there. I don't have any over here. Okay, so that looks, the whole top of that looks burnished. So we'll go in and see if we can't take a, just do one pass at a time. So what I'm doing, I'm looking right down through the throat. And fortunately you can see the holly because it's so white. And when it's right at the blade, then start your pass. Do that again. Now I'm explaining. The reason I'm being so careful, if your blade starts cutting here, there's a good chance you're going to pull some cherry fibers off because you're cutting across the grain. So by setting it, which is what I just did by the way. Now, I want to square that up. And it's got a little bit of twist in it like that. So what I was doing, normally the front of your plane controls what the blade's going to cut. What I was doing is I got it started and I was using the fact that the sole was resting on the drawer front to square the side, right? Plane can't tip this way or this way if part of it is resting over here. But once I left that, because that front part was tipping off to one side or the other, put your pressure back here, and now you're going to reference what you just squared up to control what's going to be cut. It's a great way to take twist out of the edge of a board. Oh, that was... So it's about the same on both sides now. Last thing I want to check before I go back to work on the drawer front is I want to look and see what we got going on here on the sides. Shoot, Jake, where's my headgear, do you know? Give me a second, I'll find it. Now I'm going to be particularly careful on the front because this is what's going to show. And I'm just circling some areas that look to be rubbing. Okay, before I take any of that off, I want to go in, I want to close this and have a really close look to see okay, I can take a little bit off there, I think, and not worry about it. Oh shoot, I gotta put the support board back on. Okay, get this set up so it's taken off just the right amount. Ooh, that was a heavy pass. Okay. Again, I wasn't thinking straight because that hasn't even touched anything, so that definitely was not a burnish mark, but it was a glue mark. And that's why it looks shiny. Can you put some pressure on that? Oh, what I wouldn't give to just have it jump out at me and say, right here. All right, I am not touching those fronts again. That is it. Oh, look at that. That was it. I feel like just stopping right there. So, people, go back and watch the previous issues. I keep getting people asking me, I said, why did he switch from doing a half blind to a through dovetail? Go back and check the old episodes. All right. Okay, I can make it all the way through. It's good because I don't want to take any more off of there. Check the bottom. Really tight. Really tight. Do that again. Okay, right underneath the handle. Cute. You gotta love that stuff. So white. No.
Should use your block plane.
Yeah. I don't want any rough transitions. Now, I still have to remember the reason why that's going all the way in there is because I still have to put that drawer front on. Or, you know, not the drawer front, but the piece off the other drawer, which is the drawer front. There's still a little bit of friction somewhere. I don't know where, obviously. Up and down.
Check the bottom again
What do you mean?
with the shim.
Oh, to see if that's where it's tight. Did you get me a new piece?
Yeah.
Okay, side to side, no problem. That's tight all along there. I'm going to try closing it with that in there. I can pull it out. Pull it out. Pull it out, and I'll do one more right under the handle. Little snug there. I'm going to try just one more little touch up there, and then I'm going to leave that until we put the front on, and then that'll give me a chance to do the final fit with the front on. Which side am I on? Right here. So that's really close to what I want. It's just a little snug, and then when it goes in there, it's a little too snug. All right, now I'm going to take one last look.
It is rubbing
Right
some
here.
when it comes in.
Oh yeah, I can feel it.
I mean, you can hear the wood scraping against it. That.
Can you put some pressure on that? I just, in case it's right up here on the tails, I wasn't going to take any more off. Oh yeah, it's definitely. There's a spot running right down through there. Bottom corner. I'll just do one and check it. So right in the middle. Check. Okay, no more. No more. That's
You're not gonna do that bottom corner?
no. I'm not. I'm going to save what last little bit there is for after we've glued this drawer front on, and any final touch-ups we have to do on there. Plus, when we do the drawer bottom in, that may snug things up just a little bit. Even though it's hard to explain, but you put that drawer bottom in, and for some reason, it wants to push the sides out, even though it's not. Can't figure it out. Anyway, where are we for time?
33.
Okay, I'm going to call it there. So let me tell you what we're going to do next time. I've got the drawer bottom already cut, but we're going to go in and we're going to. I got to change the bandsaw blade anyway because I want a fresh bandsaw blade. We're going to take that off so that we have all of this. So we'll cut through the top of the pin, salvage all of that, and then when we glue it on, it has to be perfect, absolutely perfect. And now I've got to come up with an idea on how to align it so that it can only be perfect, because there is no room to take any material off. That has got to be flush all the way around. We'll get that, probably only get that done. That'll save the bottom and the final fitting for the episode after that. Okay, we will see you tomorrow.